T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Rock the world. Rock the world. With me, no worries, come with me. No worries, just come with me. No worries, just come with me.
Yeah. What up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the King and Me show. I'm one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
And we live. We live up in this thing, April the 7th of 2024. We had a solar eclipse today in the U.S.
Wait, today's April the 8th.
April the 8th?
Yeah, 4/8.
Or what I say, the 7th?
Yeah.
You know what? Look, I'm blaming everything on COVID. Your boy just had COVID for the first time ever,
Can we lower the camera?
at least, that it's been occurred
Look, I got
in my
ADHD.
lifetime. And yeah, I'm here. I'd like to thank everybody that checked in on your boy. And Michelle, why don't you take things from here while I adjust our camera real quick?
All right, hey y'all. So the King and Me, we are a couple down just a
Down?
little. We are a couple that likes to offer a real outlook right there. A real outlook on healthy relationships. Real being
Relatable,
entertaining
accountable.
and loving. And last week when we tuned in, we talked about being relatable in a relationship because we're doing a series this month on breaking down what it means to be real. Real love in a relationship. Hey,
I'm talking about the real love. I don't know the rest. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So we're talking about that. So last week we talked about being relatable, and this week we're talking about being entertaining. And to set us off on the entertainment tip, y'all notice anything?
Bum. Now, what's the story behind this, though?
So the story behind this is, you want the full story?
The short version. I don't know how to not buy shirts.
There we
and
go.
T-shirts.
That's the short version.
And specifically, y'all, my butt be up in Walmart, all right? So I got a bunch of Walmart T-shirts. I'm a gamer, and I didn't realize I had bought this shirt thrice. In, I think it's like this, or this way,
That's why.
in ASL. But we decided that since we're going to be talking about entertaining and just having fun in general, that we would wear matching shirts, because, you know, we're that couple. Ew.
First of all, I ain't no ill. That's cute.
If you say so.
It is cute, especially when it's a gaming shirt. Like, it's not just any shirt; it's a gaming shirt.
Now, we do have some people in the building. Shout out to Pete. He said, is the big baby feeling better? Yes, I am feeling better. I saw that Tarika had asked as well. Shout out to Tarika. I'm feeling a whole lot better, everybody. I have my energy back. I haven't been coughing and sneezing all day today like how I was yesterday. But before we get into the show, y'all, we had an episode called In Sickness and in Health back in February. And we talked about the things of how couples that are strong, you know, should help take care of each other, nurture, and support each other. And when I say that this woman right here never left my side at all, she never, even when I tried to tell her to go home when I had an overnight stay in the hospital, I said, go home, rest up. There's not much you can do here. The bed will be more comfortable. She said, your butt in the hospital, my butt gonna be in the hospital. So Michelle L. Early, I almost said your whole government name. Thank you for being there and showing me that nurturing and support during a very interesting time last week.
Anytime, baby.
Okay. Anytime?
Anytime.
You sure about that?
I'm sure about that.
I like that. Zero hesitation.
What
Thank you.
hesitation would there be?
I don't know. You spent some time with me all of last week.
I did. And I still showed up today.
No.
I still showed up after the little incident when I walked in.
Pete said, by the way, I called it last night. Absolutely. Hey, Pete, thanks for coming on to the sports bar last night, man, and offering your insight into WrestleMania. That's not my forte, and you added some value to the show. So I'm just thanking everybody today. Publicly thanking you as well, Pete, for showing up last night and giving your time for the show. I appreciate you, brother. Now, we're going to get into our icebreaker here as we read these questions from Let's Get Deep, questions for couples. And we like to start off here with the icebreaker. And you laughed right before, so I'm curious.
Because I don't think that this is a question that we'll be able to do,
Okay.
but whatever, we'll try it. The question says, share 2 truths and a lie about something you did this past week. The partner must guess what's the lie.
We're going to know it because when I say she was literally by my side as I was sick, the only time she wasn't by my side is when either of us was in the restroom. So we can't really do that because it's going to be obvious. So do we draw another icebreaker?
Let's skip icebreaker.
Okay, so we'll skip the icebreaker for today. Pete said, can I be your wrestling expert? You are now the sports bar resident expert. You have been deemed.
All right. Who has had the biggest impact on your career and why?
Biggest impact on my career? Oh, man, that's a really tough question. I can't name one specific person because in my adult life, I haven't had that many jobs, really. I've only had 3 jobs in my adult life. A good bit of it was in the Air Force. And I think because I got employed into the VA 2013. So the VA has now been my longest job that I've had so far. And I've had 2 functions within that. And I didn't really have a mentor within the VA. I could say this guy, Dave Seller. Sometimes he watches stuff that I share, so he might see this. Dave Seller, I think, has been somebody that's been impactful in a small way since I've been in the VA. But I've had several people in my adult life that I can attribute as kind of helping guide my adultdom in since I've been over the age of 18. One person who just got back from a deployment, Reginald Williams, super cool dude. He's been deployed away from his family a long time, a little bit older than me from the Air Force. But I got so many people from the Air Force that I could call mentors and folks that we'd be here all day if I were to name everybody. A lot of my old commanders and things like that. So I can't pinpoint one specific person, as a lot of my old pilot buddies and old boom operators have all had good, solid impact into my career.
Okay.
Who do you have?
So I had to think about it while you were talking. I realized mine would probably be my pastor / boss. So I am not his direct report.
Okay.
A matter of fact, he's so high up the food chain that like we don't even sit on the same sheet of paper. Like that's how far up the org chart he is. But he is my pastor. He is my spiritual advisor. He is also like a father figure to me. And I mean, he is high enough up the food chain that at that level, I consider them all to be my bosses at the end of the day. So I would say he has had the greatest impact on my professional career.
Nice. And to those of y'all watching, that's important. Look, if you can find a mentor in your area, in your industry, or your field, find a mentor. Find somebody that can help cover the things that you might not be thinking about and help get you to that next level. And even if you are like a CEO, even CEOs have advisors.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how far up or down the chain you are, there's always somebody that can help you out.
All right. And on the same line, What's an important decision in your professional life you have based largely on your intuitive feelings? What about your personal life?
In my personal life?
Personal or professional. So in your personal professional life, what's one decision that you base largely on your intuitive feelings?
Well, I had the opportunity to stay as a project manager when I first got into the VA. And while everybody else went on to become a project manager, I think, the only one that didn't. And I couldn't quite pinpoint it, but it was something that was in my gut that said, don't do that. Initially, it put me behind my peers as we all came in at the same time. But over time, I caught up essentially. And the job satisfaction that I have from the work that I do now is tier one. It's A+. I could not have imagined doing what I'm doing now in my current career. And it was mostly off of just having that feeling that I should not do this. Like I said, no concrete thing that was just telling me not to do it. No star charts or bar graphs or anything. It was just, don't do it, bruh, and sticking to it. Like I said again, I was uneasy about it, but turned out to work in my favor. How about you?
For me, it's when I was graduating from college. I was on my fourth major, second college, and I was just a few months shy of graduation. I was graduating with a finance degree, and even though I knew in my heart that working in finance wasn't my passion, I didn't want to change my major because I had already changed it 3 times and I changed schools. So I stuck with it, and I knew I didn't want to work in finance. I knew I wanted to work in nonprofit management and leadership, and I don't regret going down that path. I don't regret choosing nonprofit life over Wall Street and the fast lane. Not at all.
Wait, hold on. So you mean to tell me I could have met you?
Any other decision that I would have made would have meant that we would not have met one another.
But could you go to Wall
We would
Street
not
now?
have met one another.
Could you go use your degree and go back to Wall Street now?
No, because my
I
heart's
could
not in
support
it.
this.
My heart's not in
I could
it.
support this. You could be that Wall Street diva dominator. I'll be the guy that takes care of everything else. 10 years from now, we living on a yacht.
My heart's not in it. Your heart's got to be in it. If your heart's not, I tell my students all the time, if your heart's not in it, don't do it. It's a waste of your time.
Okay. So here at the King and Me show, we do this live stream every Monday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern, as a new-ish couple. Why? Why are we doing this?
Why are we still called a newish couple, you mean?
No, why are we live streaming every Monday?
Because we want other people to see that the dating market really isn't trash. So I already told them that we are offering a real outlook on healthy relationships. We want y'all to see that it's okay for you to take a chance and even, venture out, date people that you might not have normally considered. Like, King wasn't looking to date anyone when we met
Nobody.
at all. And I wasn't looking to date someone who had been married and or had children. It wasn't a path that I wanted to take yet. Here we are together, and we bring unique perspectives. Oh, I like the way you shaped up your mustache. We bring unique perspectives into everything that we do, and we want to share that with everyone else so that you can see there's quality in the dating market. The question is, are you the quality in the dating market? But
Yes.
that's a question for another day.
Exactly. Now, today's episode, today's topic is entertaining, right? Having the fun inside of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Every relationship dynamic is different. Some people can be that boring, clear eyes type of people.
Clear eyes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But something that was important to both her and I was that laughability factor. It's not that I'm turning to her and saying, Michelle, dance for me, to be entertaining and funny in this relationship.
What kind of dance? I'm kidding. I'm kidding,
Turn
y'all. I'm
off.
kidding.
But I came to her as somebody that I've done improv. Some people don't know that. I've done stand-up comedy. You can find that stuff out there. And I don't think I'm a funny dude at all. I think I have my moments, right? But I don't really think I'm funny per se myself. And Michelle, since I've met her, she has cracked me up on some of the most subtle jokes, right? And it's just her being herself. So it's fortunate enough that at least with her and I, we can just be ourselves. We're not forcing anything and still crack each other up. So we got lucky in that aspect. But there's something that we've been seeing out there with other couples on social media doing these different pranks and things like that, that to me, either they're doing it for the views or they're doing it at the detriment of the other person. And to me, that's rude and disrespectful. I told Michelle I will never, ever, 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 ever play a prank on her at the expense of her feelings. I think that that's just wrong and that's just trash. We've played pranks on each other for show, but it's never been rude or disrespectful, right?
Right.
Now, when we first met, her and I played some games of Uno. How did those first games of Uno turned out, by the way?
First of all, I think you and your daughter cheated.
Okay.
There's that.
We probably did. I won't deny that.
Yeah, I think y'all cheated.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
See, where I'm from, right? In the main streets of Baltimore, we don't do that. We acquire everything honestly, or at least a version of honesty that can't get caught for dishonesty. So that's what we do. So
I'm gonna tell y'all what she did though. She let me win those first couple of games because since then, here's my version of this story.
Go ahead, tell me your version.
When we were first playing Uno, she's like, I like this man. I want this man to like me. So I'm going to let him win. And she did it subtly, y'all. She did it subtly. I spanked that behind.
Or so he thought.
And that was the only time. Because in every Uno game since, like our second time playing from that, I told her, look, I ain't trying to whatever, yada, yada. But we had still hung out and we had some Uno cards. And we were like, hey, let's run that back in Uno. And she just smiled and said, okay. And proceeded to spank me like 5 times in a row.
And then when we went away to the cabin recently, what was that, November?
Mm-hmm. Again.
Collecting them wins, baby.
I mean, straight mopping the floor with me.
Mopping the floor.
In Uno. So while we have this episode, we're just going to talk about the importance of keeping things light in a relationship, having fun if that's your jam, and maybe offer some insights and advice on things that people can do to just, keep the fun in the relationship. So we're going to play Uno. Are we doing doubles?
All them rules apply.
All right. Can we put draw 4s on draw 2s? Because
you can put a draw 4 on a draw 2.
Because if you look in some forms, right, you can put draw 4s on draw 4s, draw 2s on draw 2s.
We don't go by them way.
A draw 4 on a draw 2 because it don't make any sense.
It does. So I'm taking my glasses off. I'm not saying you going to cheat. I'm just saying I'm trying to remove temptation from you. So as we play, we want to talk. We're going to hash some things out. And also know we are doing pile-up, so you can pile up on things, okay?
All right.
So for me, I think one of the greatest things that happened in our relationship was that when we first met each other, we met through a mutual friend. And through that mutual friend, we exchanged numbers, and then we eventually went out and, we got to hang out and do some things together. And I think that was a great experience for us. Sorry, yeah, you're good.
No, go ahead.
I feel like that was a great experience for us. Our first outing, we call it an outing, yellow. Our first outing was going to Spinners, so an arcade, so that we could, get to know one another and spend time together and just see what was going to happen, even though we weren't going to be together. It's not your turn, honey.
Oh, wow.
Bam! Uno out. All right, look.
Can you be the perpetual and then we'll swap, as far as who goes first? Thank you.
So I want to say, that opportunity, I think if we had done anything, I didn't get lucky, baby. I'm just good at what I did.
Did you read what I said?
I did read what you said. Don't think that because I don't have glasses on, I can't read your lips.
All right, you know what? It's that time. I'm not losing with the crown on.
But he did lose that first game, y'all. Y'all saw that, right?
Hey,
I think because you and I, we didn't come together under conventional terms, and nothing about us is conventional, right? Like our first outing, we were able to go out, play games, and get to know one another. And it was so low stakes because you weren't interested in dating. I knew that I found you attractive and that I wanted to be with you, but it doesn't mean anything if it's one sided. So we were just able to hang out and have that type of day. How do couples do that? Like, if they don't meet under the terms by which we met, how do couples do that? How do they achieve that?
ooh, okay, so the way most couples meet now are through dating apps, right? And you've seen the amount of dating apps that are out there and what people are saying. Like, they might say, love to have fun. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right? I came across people that say love to go on hikes. And I challenged that with one person, and yeah, that person does love to go on hikes for sure. Continue to go on hikes to this day, and they are in different trail groups, talk about it, all of that jazz. And somebody else was like, they didn't even have proper shoes, And I was like, oh, what trail is your favorite trail? They couldn't answer it, right? But I think you really should be definitive about what having fun means for you. I play video games. Some people would say that they are okay with video games, but as you've seen, or as we've both seen, there is a level of, well, I didn't know he played video games that much. Or people getting jealous because when that person is playing video games, if the other person's not a gamer, they're feeling like, oh, well, if they're not doing anything work related or whatnot, they should be spending time with me. Instead, this person's always on his headset talking with his friends, playing games, and that can be a problem. So I think that you should be really specific as you're getting to know somebody and asking them, what does fun mean for you? Like, hey, do you like playing Uno? You and I are trying to get this spades game going with other people.
Yeah.
And while we've never played together, I think because we communicate well, given time, you and I would be able to dominate anybody that want to run up in space. But people aren't real specific early on because I think they want to be just generic to see what the other person thinks about what they're saying and then kind of maneuvering from there, which is bad. You should just be honest up front about what you like and what you don't like, and then let the other person decide if they want to rock with that or not. It's actually your turn to go first. I went first last time.
The dealer doesn't go.
Yeah, but I was asking if you could be all-time dealer.
Okay.
That way we could focus on, like, you focus on this, and then the show, I'll focus on questions and the technical side of stuff.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll do.
We do have a question here. P said, did you not have your, I'm assuming you mean crown. No, I didn't have my crown on during that first match, but I do on this match, so somebody about to go down. If I was a lame-o, could we still have worked out?
Define lame, because I think people have different definitions of the term lame.
All right, so let's say I was the clear eyes guy. Like, let's say I still went out to the museums and stuff like that with you, but as far as like laughter, I didn't really find a whole lot funny. I wasn't into comedies, and I took things serious all the time.
I don't know if that could work, and that's only because I am very sarcastic by nature. I tell people all the time, I have a very, very sarcastic personality, and it's not that I'm trying to be rude or anything like that. It's just I'm sarcastic. I like to laugh. I like to joke. I think my humor is different from most people, but I like to laugh. And I need to be with someone who also likes to laugh. Like, I take a lot of things very seriously. You know me, it's something, you can call it the ADHD, you can call it the OCD, whatever you want to call it. I do take a lot of things seriously. Oh no. I do take a lot of
Uno.
things seriously. Uno out.
Come on!
Bam, baby. Just like that. I do take a lot seriously. Like whooping your butt and Uno.
Come on.
Seriously. You gotta adjust the crown, make sure
Yeah,
it's right.
gotta adjust the crown a bit.
But no, I don't think we would have worked out. And I don't think I've ever dated someone like that. Ever. Because I need a level of humor. Comedies aren't my favorite type of movie, but my favorite type is action, and there's always some underlying humor in there.
Oof, thank you. I be killing some action movies.
Yes, I love action movies. Oh yeah, like Roadhouse, movies you watch without me. But yeah, no, we wouldn't have. I don't think we would have made it past the first date if that were here.
So we've talked about age gap relationships, which some people have in today's time. Culturally, if there's an age gap relationship, sometimes you may not get the humor that the other person is going through because they were born in a different time than you. How do those age gap couples work out when it comes to humor and things of that nature?
And see, that's where I kind of disagree a little bit with age gap relationships. I feel like there are going to be so many things that are happening that the other person is not going to know about because they're from two different decades. And sometimes you do get that when you have two people who just aren't alike, who haven't lived the same experiences and stuff like that. But you do want that diversity. Like there's some things in our relationship that even though we're relatively close to each other in age, we don't necessarily have in common and we don't necessarily relate to. And I don't think that that's a problem.
What's about to be a problem is you about to take this first loss. Okay.
Red.
Uno. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uno out.
He was so happy, y'all. He was so happy. I'm gonna let him have his happiness. I'm so happy for you.
Comeback time, baby. Comeback time. Ain't no love in Uno.
So if y'all are keeping score, it's 2 for Shell, 1 for King.
Nobody asked all of that.
I felt like they needed to know. Maybe someone was just tuning in and they just needed to be kept abreast of what was going on.
Do you find it problematic if couples are always competitive?
Yeah, because then I'm like, well, where's the intimacy? And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I am a very intimate person. I love levels of intimacy. I love being able to, get all that other stuff, but still be intimate with a person. So I feel like if we're always competitive, if we're always pranksters, then when do we have that time to be intimate, to be real, to be genuine, to be vulnerable? And I feel like all of that is necessary in a relationship.
I gotta send the link out. Somebody asked about it. There's the link, man. Tap in. And thanks for tuning in, FYI. You know who you is. Uh-oh, what's going on? Okay, never mind. Don't worry about that. That has nothing to do with this show. It's your turn to go first. I think that it can be extremely problematic if you're always competing because some people just don't know how to turn that competition off.
Exactly.
And in my opinion, couples should be on one accord per se. And I'm not trying to compete with you in public. Now, I did see something from Sean Bolden, and if you have it up.
I do. I have it up. It's your turn, so I'll read it.
Yeah,
hey, Sean, welcome in. He said, good competition is not an issue unless you are a sore loser. That's a valid point.
Yes.
That's a valid point.
And Michelle knows I don't mind taking an L. And I'm not a sore loser. But when I win, oh, you gonna know about it. You gonna hear about it relentlessly. Hold up. Maybe I do need to shuffle these cards.
The camera is watching me shuffle.
Yeah, but you could be doing some sleight of hand.
And trust me, if you saw how trash my hands were, you would know I'm not doing anything in my favor. My hands are trash.
Maybe Spencer from Illusions then taught you some things. And
First of all, we both know the way my ADHD is set up. I got no capacity. Go ahead.
all right, bring it back. Boom.
Okay.
We about to have this thing tied up.
Probably. Go ahead.
Uno. I did it wrong too. Uno out.
All right, y'all. We 2-2. We 2-2.
Let's see. Tarika said, I love playing Uno. Uno's fun. Uno's a very low-key game. And I think, what did you think about our first time playing? Like I said, I know you let me win. When I go back and I think you let me win because you ruthless in Uno. But how did
Look,
you...
just because I beat my cousin mercilessly does not mean I'm ruthless.
You ruthless. How did you view that first time with all of us playing?
Well, you know, the first time you and I played Uno was when it was me, you, and Castle, at Ellie's house.
At Ellie's house, yes. How did you view it is what I'm asking. Like, how did you view me when we were doing it? Because I felt like you were I felt like you were a little, not timid, but...
I was timid.
Okay.
So timid may not be the exact word of how I was feeling it that day, but like it was the three of us over at Ellie's house and we were watching the Bama game.
Roll Tide.
I forget who Bama was playing, but you and I were just friends at the time, and like we were awkward friends, and I say awkward friends because we talked on the phone all the time. Like you get on these podcasts, and I'm putting all your business out there. You get on these podcasts and these shows, and you're like, "Oh, I don't stay on the phone if I don't have to." King, you and I would sit on the phone for hours talking. And then don't make me have to call Verizon and be like, give me my phone log.
I need the phone log.
Give me my phone log from August 2022 to October 22. But no, we would get on the phone and we would sit and talk and like we would fall asleep listening to the other person.
Who was I? Because that don't make no sense. 13. Especially for somebody I wasn't dating.
Exactly. So that day we're sitting at Ellie's house and we're playing. And yes, on the one hand, I'm trying to let you win because I didn't realize that you had trained your child to be ruthless when it came to games against people. But I surely found that out when we played Frederick-Opoly. But I'm sitting here and I'm also having my heart broken. So like Castle won maybe like the first game or something like that. And then you win a game, and then I win a game, and I had it tracked, but it's probably in my old phone. So I think it's you. Okay. So y'all are winning, and in my head, I'm just like, I want to be with this guy. Like I'm losing, and I'm losing twice. Excuse me, I'm losing twice over. I'm losing at Uno, and I'm losing in my love. Like what is going on? What is going on? I was definitely feeling some type of way.
Let's see. Let's hit this reverse. Let's hit this draw 2, and then I'm gonna wait.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I did not stack the cards.
Very nice. I figured that was coming.
I did just play myself, but that's neither here nor there.
Ooh, okay. Now,
maybe I should have looked like because I keep thinking I see a card that I don't see.
There was a question: do we play Connect 4? We've never played Connect 4, and it's been a while since I've even seen a Connect 4 board. But I'd play it if it was around.
Yeah, I don't discriminate against games. I love games. I will also mollywop them in some tic-tac-toe.
Excuse me a second. Wonderful. We live. What you want?
Hi.
Well, if you follow the King and Me show, which is capturing all of this, you would know that we live.
And in living color.
All right, Winifred, thank you.
You too.
All right, tune in to the live.
Yes.
Bye.
See you.
So I took that call. That was Winifred from back home. She's her and her family live like right down the road or whatnot. So it's pretty good having people from Alabama that will check on your boy from time to time. So thank y'all for checking in on me and making sure that I'm still in the land of the living. Whose turn is it?
I think it's yours.
Okay.
I just want to say, I know King said something already, but I truthfully just want to thank you all. Like, I got to work today, and my colleagues are asking me, how is King? How is he feeling? And I even had a student, I told you this, I had a student who came up to me and asked me how you were doing because her mom, who is not friends with me on social media, must have seen our post, or like she follows our channel, and she told the daughter that you weren't feeling well. So the daughter came to me to ask how you were doing, and I thought that was like the sweetest thing ever.
Thanks.
So thank you all. But what were we saying before that?
I just Inspector Gadgeted that phone call
You
just
did.
now.
I'm so proud
Y'all
of you.
think about this. We living in a timeline where you can talk to your watch.
All right, go ahead.
If
Your turn.
you're in a relationship, what advice do you have if, one person is born? Oh, actually, no. Let me change this question up a bit. How do you think that some relationships lose that fun? Because it seems like some couples, they start out, they're fun, they're enjoying themselves in life.
Can I be honest? Like, it's gonna sound so mean. It's gonna sound so mean.
Green.
I think they lose that because they have kids.
I was just gonna say that, and then boom, most people get married, they have kids, and then kids throw everything off, and then it starts to become more about the kids. How do you correct that and bring that back? Say F them kids.
That's what I be trying to tell y'all. Go ahead.
So I don't know. I was previously married,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the longest relationship that I've been in, and I had a child with my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And I don't think that we put the child in front of the relationship that caused the fun to go away. Is it my turn?
I think so.
Who knows?
Did y'all still have fun?
I think so. From my perspective, I think we did. The only time that things went fun, Uno out.
Nice.
It is now 3-2. I mean, I ain't keeping score.
You ain't keeping
I ain't keeping score, but
okay.
it is 3-2.
I told you I'm not stacking the deck. Like, you can't stack the deck and lose.
Now, I don't think that the fun was lost out of the relationship. Once the respect was gone between us, that's what derailed the relationship. But I don't think it was never any less of a fun time during that 14-year marriage. So
how did the respect go?
did we talk about the chicken and the egg?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. The respect went because I could not figure out what needed to be taken care of first.
Let's pause for a second.
Okay.
Let's pause the game for a second.
Pause the game for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't figure out what needed to be taken care of first. And as I said last week, it was, well, why should I
It's fine.
take care of what, she's asking for if I'm not being taken care of as well? So I think that there was a point that I could just see that there was a lack of respect, which ended up resulting in love lost.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I always say to anybody, once the respect is gone, that relationship is done. You cannot gain respect back, in my opinion. I think people can fall in and out of love and the relationship can still work as long as you respect each other.
Mm-hmm.
There just may be something that, hey, this person's doing something right now that makes it harder for me to love that person, but I still respect them so the relationship can work. But once that respect is gone, relationships donezo.
So we were going to take a Uno pause, but then Sean said something smart in the comments. So we back.
Somebody has a sense of renewed plan.
we back, because what I'm not going to have people thinking that what Sean just said is true. Because the devil is the entire lie. Sean said the crown is working.
Hey, you know what? The crown is working, baby. Let's go. It's your turn to go first this time. Ooh, 8. All right. Red 8.
Devil is a whole entire lie in these streets. Look, Sean, I don't know why you had to do that. I am not a competitive person at all.
Do you have any additional thoughts about the loss of respect and just kind of how things can go that route?
I mean, I agree with you. For me, I would say that what I noticed in my relationships is that for me, I wonder if there was respect to begin with in the relationships, only because there were some things that happened that I think sometimes what is that? Look through the forest and miss the trees, or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think I was always looking for something else that I missed things that were glaringly obvious to me. Like you trying to play me right there.
Can you say a little bit louder? I don't think the mic picture.
I said you trying to play me right there.
The color is blue.
Oh, okay. Shout out to the person who thinks I stacked the deck.
Oh, not done. There we go. Oh, not done. There we go. Sorry. That wasn't intentional.
You so petty with that.
That wasn't intentional.
So petty.
Let's see. Sean said something to Tarika. Said, "You're welcome." I'm curious what Tarika brought up or talked about. We'll do that.
I'm not sure.
You don't see? Okay.
Mm-mm.
It's your turn. It is your turn. Where you getting all these twos from?
The same place you just got all them twos from.
Got two.
The same place you just got all them twos from.
It didn't help because I played myself.
I think overall there is something to be said about humor. Like I had a pastor, the first pastor that I had when I moved out to Frederick, who said that a day without laughter is a day wasted. And granted, he said it every single Sunday, so it legitimately did get old fast. But I do believe that it's true that if you don't laugh, if you don't find some level of humor in life, Green, then things just aren't going to, they're not going to work out the way that you would have them to work out. And I think you do need to be able to laugh. I think you do need to be able to laugh and find some humor. And I think some relationships just go dead because life becomes too difficult. So when you asked that question earlier, the first thing I said was kids. But the reality is it doesn't have to be kids. It could be the desire for kids and like you're trying and for whatever reason it's not working. Or it could simply be that your lives are just so apart. Like realistically, I can't look at age gap relationships and believe that you two are there because you are kindred souls, that you two are soulmates for the most part.
I agree with that.
Like y'all are there
for a reason. You're benefiting, that person's benefiting. It's not because of
I'm sorry,
soulmates.
There's no way that you can tell me that someone who's been on this earth for 30 years prior to you even being conceptualized, that you two are kindred souls. Like, I'm sorry, I can't. And this is coming from someone who dated someone briefly who was 21 years older than her. Like, there was no soulmateness there.
But there's we both there's nothing wrong with age gap relationships.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm like, please don't sit here and try to play us or yourself and say that you two are like kindred souls and that you two are like coming together for that reason.
Well, you haven't lost respect for each other, but someone's done lost respect for the crown. Hey, we're what, 3-3 right now?
Sean, you're assuming that I had respect. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I think like there's that whole what happens when the humor was it really there? Like was that relationship really I think people get together for because so many people get together with the idea of procreation and building this family that they put a lot of things to the side and they ignore a lot of things. That's one of the beautiful aspects of our relationship. We're not getting together to procreate. We're not here to have kids and all that other stuff. So right now we can take time to get to know the other person because it's not like we're wasting time while for fertileness could be happening. We're not doing that because we're not trying to do that. So since that's not our focus can be on the two of us. What do you need? What do I need? How can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
How can we grow one another in every aspect? And I think that that's sometimes something that's lost, and that's one of the entertaining things that goes away in a relationship, that they have to focus on kids and we don't.
We don't. And I'm thankful because we're both at an age, and if you're okay talking about this, then we could certainly throw this in the mix as well. I'm getting into the sprint part of my career where, but by the time for the next 5 years, between 40 to 45, barring any major setback that occurs with maybe losing my job for whatever reason, things are going to be fan freaking tastic with how things are set up for me now. And I don't even have to really get a promotion to still do well. Now, you shared with me last week that you feel is that in your age, comparatively to your peers, that you're a baby in the game, whereas some of your peers that you graduated high school with are accomplished authors and doctors and um, CEOs of nonprofits or whatever they call their nonprofits. And sometimes life just simply gets in the way. And I bring all that up to say, if I was still having an hour and 45-minute commute every day going into DC, and that was my Monday to Friday thing, I'm not interested in coming home and having fun. I'm interested in, let me get up out these clothes. Let me grab something to eat if I hadn't done that already. I maybe just want to veg out because I've had to dodge all the people trying to ask me for money and stuff between going to work and coming back from work, and everybody trying to get in your pockets because of that commute into DC. And I don't want to laugh. I don't want to do anything. I just want to kick my feet up, relax, and go to sleep. And if you do that too much, let's say you and I were still in a relationship, but that was my life. Now we're getting to where we're having to possibly schedule stuff. And I think when you get to schedule stuff, it's a great reminder to, hey, let's not forget to pour into ourselves. But it takes the spontaneity out of things when you have to schedule things because one or both of y'all are just so freaking busy all the time. Now, you're coming into a season where you're starting to shed things off your plate. But I can also see the inverse of that in opportunities coming up for you that the more higher you go, the more responsibility that you have, and how some stuff you can't take that time away from. So hey, I want more responsibility, but y'all ain't gonna take up all my time. That's just really not how that works. How do you think we best navigate that time when that time comes that you're going to be in more responsibility and less time for us?
Well, So what I'll first say is one thing that I love about us is we have a joint calendar, that a joint email account, joint calendar, and we'll go and we'll throw things on that calendar so that the other person sees it. I love that intentionality that we have because I feel like it's our way of making one another a priority and making sure that we have time for each other. So when that time comes that like we're both really really busy and we have things, I think that we need to have well defined boundary lines for our time. So okay, we're both super super busy. I think we set that finite line with everyone that after 10 o'clock there is no external communication unless somebody's dead or dying, like no external communication.
Or if I'm gaming with the fellas.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, then you shift and adjust your schedule and you game earlier so that we can have that boundary time that's like flat across the board if our schedules get to be so busy. Not saying you don't game with the fellas, not saying that at all in any way, shape, or form, but that maybe you push up your gaming time with the fellas. Like, so I'll push up time with, you know, the invisible friends that I never hang out with because I avoid people. And you shift that up so that we set boundaries. Or if for whatever reason we're going to go against that, then it's like, okay, this one night, you know, this is when, but it's something that's like understood and explained. It's not just assumed that, well, I had a rough day, so hopefully she knows that like I just need to game tonight, even though I'm gonna be gaming until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully she just understands that because today was a rough day. I just need to do that. But like communicating that type of stuff. And I don't feel like it's you explaining your whereabouts or anything like that, but that we're falling back on the backbone of the relationship, which is communication being essential. And same thing for me, like maybe I just had a really rough day, and for whatever reason, I'm not home until 9, 10 o'clock. But when I get home, I still have things that I need to do. Maybe I still need to journal. Maybe there's something that I need to write. Maybe there's still a little bit of work that I need to do. Not assuming that I just got home late, it's been a really rough day. He'll understand. No, still communicating because at the end of the day, as my therapist said, we are each other's family. So making sure that we put an emphasis on the healthiness of us individually and then the healthiness of us as a couple.
I have a dilemma.
What's your dilemma?
Right now we played 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
It is 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
Can my pride handle if I were to lose wearing the crown versus taking the crown off, win or lose, I'd be okay with it?
The crown hurts your head, ain't it?
No, I'm just thinking about it because we are coming up on an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should end it on 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
We can still do the rest of our show until we have to shut it down. But 3-3, one more game to break the tiebreaker. I'm going to leave the crown on. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Sean said, scheduling with each other with consideration of the other. Great suggestion. Look, I think it's awesome that you and I have this live stream because we use it as a way to communicate. The one hiccup that we had resulted in us saying, let's not share something that the other person hasn't already said to the other person first. All right. I still had some, what did you call it? A hesitation? Not really a hesitation about it. Uneasiness about it because I don't think what had occurred was bad, but you wasn't a fan of how the information came up and you hadn't heard it first. So using this is a way for us to keep that communication going. There's a lot of pillars to communication. There's the intimacy that I don't think about as much. You are big on intimacy.
Big on it.
Big on it. It's not something that I think about at
That's
all.
fine. Yeah.
How you handle finances. All right, trying to make sure I don't see them cards.
No, I'm trying to make sure I don't see yours. Because then you're going to use it as an excuse. Like, well, you saw my hand.
You got intimacy, you got finances, and how you communicate. I think those are the big 3 pillars of a relationship. It is me, I'm going to do this, and then boom. 2 9s.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
Reverse, and then I'm picking up a card, and then I'm putting that down.
One of the things that I love most about us is the ease of communication that we have. I don't think we have any secrets, which is one reason why playing that game earlier, answering that icebreaker question would have been difficult, because in general, like, I don't think we have any secrets from one another.
Whew. Am I good?
I guess.
I'm going to gamble on this. Uno. No! 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 Oh, man. You heard it.
You don't know, King.
I know.
Take up your cards.
I know.
Uno, take up your cards.
Oh. I'm actually surprised. It ain't gonna matter. Red.
Actually, Uno out.
That here's like, I had to gamble that I could get away with that. A 25% chance, because if you would have, well, unless you had a wild, then it wouldn't matter. But I had to gamble on a 25% chance that that's the one color you did not have. I lost with the crown on. Do I pass the crown to? No. Only my head's been in this crown. Yes. Nope. I stayed the only wearer of the crown. There can only be one.
There can only be one.
God, hey, producer, strike that from the live stream. Let me hit y'all with the men in black.
Blame Sean.
Let me hit y'all with the men in black.
Blame
Clean,
Sean.
so that people can't forget that. Look, how many other live streams where you have couples come on and just talk about dating and relationship stuff in general, and play Uno at the same time while being able to monitor and see what the chat is talking about?
I couldn't have done it without you. I joke about a lot of things. Sorry, baby. I joke about a lot of things, but I sincerely have been diagnosed with ADHD, and it's hard for me to concentrate and focus on things. So something like this, it wasn't an easy feat, but I thought that it would be something different for us to do, just to kind of let people in and see a little bit of the playfulness that is us. Like, we have an opportunity to joke and engage, but I truly think, and I'm going to pull on the words of Reverend William Graham, which is the pastor's name, when he said that a day without laughter is a day wasted. And if you are in a relationship with someone, there needs to be a level of humor in there. I think in our write-up, I said a level of humor and a level of gaiety, because you need to be able to laugh. You need to be able to enjoy that person's company. If you can't go through the gamut of emotions with the person that you're with, I feel like you're not being authentic in that relationship. If I can't laugh and have fun with you and also show you my vulnerable side of crying and expressing hurt that I felt, and if I can't be excited with you, and then if I can't, let you know if something hurt my feelings, or express anger, not at you, but just like sharing that with you. If I can't go through the gamut of emotions with you, then why am I with you? Like, when people say those vows, they're like, I promise to love and honor and cherish and obey, and for richer or for poor, in sickness and health, and to death do us part. But it's like, I think people don't realize that when you're saying those vows, You're saying that no matter what the weather is, no matter what the season is, no matter what's going on, for all of the summer days, for all of the winter days, for all of the spring and for all of the fall, for all of the good, for all of the bad, for all of the happy, for all of the undesirable, for all of the everything that's happening. It's an all season, all weather type of love. I think people don't understand that that's what is necessary when you're stepping into a relationship. People step into a relationship thinking it's just going to be easy. It's just going to be easy, or I'm just here for one thing. Like, she's easy, so I'm just going to be here for this one thing. And I think you're just playing yourself when you continue to look at a relationship like that, or look at being with someone like that. And ladies, you're disrespecting yourself if that's all you're willing to tolerate. Men, you're disrespecting yourself if that's what you're willing to tolerate, knowing that you want more.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Sean, thanks for commenting. He said, I enjoyed watching y'all. Sean, man, we appreciate you tuning in. I believe you're going to be on tonight on The Real Precious. So am I, y'all. I took off last week because, COVID and all, but I'll be back on The Real Precious tonight as well, which I think we're going to stream on Perry Productions. So for those of y'all that watch The King M.E on Mondays, you're also going to see this face on The Real Precious simulcasting on Perry Productions as well. Now, next week we're going to be talking about accountability. But before I get into that, if there's anybody that have any questions or something that you want to highlight or whatnot, please bring it up in the chat and we'll either answer it or share the question here on our live stream. We would love to get y'all's input and talk about it here as we go through this live stream. So Michelle and I were talking. We enjoy live streams because to us it's much more engaging. There's a little bit more back and forth that we could have with people. There are other people that do relationship podcasts, but you don't get that back and forth, right? You're pretty much listening to what they're saying, and then you may put something in the comments. They might read it or whatever, and it is what it is. But we're doing this thing live because we enjoy each other's company. We also enjoy just sharing things, and we hope that somebody gains a little bit of nuggets from this as well. Next week, we're talking about the A in this real outlook on a healthy relationship. The A being accountable. When you hear that word, what do you think?
Something that's lacking in society today.
Yes, 100%. And not just in relationships, in society in general.
Oh my gosh, I am a classroom teacher. I'm telling you, there's a lack of accountability on all levels. And if this is what I'm seeing from this generation that's coming up, I'm telling you, respectfully, they're getting it from somewhere. So they're getting it from somewhere, which means that there's a trickle down of people not being accountable, not holding themselves accountable. And this is something that you got to face and you got to tackle in relationships. And I feel like, we're kind of like building with what is necessary in a relationship. Like, yeah, you need to be able to relate. You need to be able to get along, have some commonality with a person. But then you also need to be able to have some humor and everything like that. But then a step above that is accountability.
Bingo.
So, being entertaining, being able to have fun and enjoy yourself when you're with that other person. But being authentic is something that comes in, and I think that relates greatly to the entertaining part. Be authentic, but be engaging. Be, entertaining. Have fun. Don't lose the humor just because you're in a relationship. Like, I think about the show Good Times, which irony in and of itself with that name, but there was always some humor in there. No matter how devastating every single episode was, because of JJ, no matter how devastating it was, there was always humor in there. And you got to be able to find the humor in life. And I think that will contribute to a healthy and a lasting relationship.
Rock on. Well, look, we're not just on YouTube, Facebook, X, all of that stuff. We're on LinkedIn now. But we can't go live until we get more people watching networked over there on LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn account, there's a link tree which has all of our links. Go over to that link tree and connect with us on LinkedIn. There's a way to support the show as well in our link tree if you feel so inclined. drop that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be back next Monday.
Next Monday.
Right? There's nothing, you don't have anything precluding us from going live next week?
I have no life.
You have a life.
I mean, I do. It's super busy, and I like to think that I don't have a life. But
Okay.
what's next Monday? Next Monday is the 15th.
Yes.
It'll be the day after my 12th Delta versary.
You convinced me to go to something with you.
I did.
And I said yes if you wanted to, and it was important. The bad part about me supporting you and your endeavors is that means I got to do stuff too.
And you got to dress up. Normally, my endeavors require you to dress up. Like, what does that say about my life?
Oh, man. And like, I literally started thinking, it's like, oh, I'm going to actually have to dress up here for something. And I'm like, why did I support this and say yes? I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong. You can't get me on the dance floor to save your life, so good luck with that.
What's funny is I'm wearing tennis shoes most likely. Like I did, so y'all know I had that foot procedure, and I also have plantar fasciitis in my right foot. Well, the entire month of March, when I was in my post-op boot on my left foot, I wore a tennis shoe on my right foot. Never had any pain with the plantar fasciitis the entire month of March. Today, I go back to work for the first day because last week was spring break. I go back to work for the first day. I had on this cute outfit, so I wore flat shoes, right? Did my 1 mile walk around the school. My right foot was hurting. So right now I'm looking at it like, okay, so we're just going to be in tennis shoes every day because right foot needs some love and support. And I refuse to buy those over $100 shoes that I need to buy for healthy foot.
Hey, take care of yourself. It don't matter what the fashion of it all.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm fitting to wear me some tennis shoes. Like I don't care how it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Yes, I showed up to church in tennis shoes several times. Yes, I served at church in tennis shoes. I don't care.
Hey, they say that the Lord don't care how you show up.
Right.
You just got to give him his praise.
Exactly. So that's what I'm going to do. Like that event that we're going to, the chapter's 20th anniversary, I'm going to be in a cocktail dress. I'm going to look cute, but I'm finna have some tennis shoes on. Like, we're going to see if it's going to be Chucks or if it's going to be Nikes or something like that. But,
I got some upgrades that I think I need to do, but don't worry about that. It's some technical stuff. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next Monday live on the King and Me show. We out.
Wait.
I got this. I'm getting it ready.
Look, I don't know.
Don't jump the gun.
You keep scaring me. I'm like, wait a minute.
Have we missed one yet?
I don't know, but one of us is old and forgetful, and the other one is me.
Trust in me. Bye.
Bye, y'all.